Hello my friends, welcome to my cross stitching video today. Here is what I think, because the Easter time approaching really fast, so maybe you will forgive me for a couple of these weeks, week or two, that I'm not going to have European town stitching. Maybe I will throw that video sometimes, maybe in a different, I don't know if I will have a time, because I really want to finish project first that is actually Easter, and I did started this one last night. Today is April 4th. Most of you vote for this image with the bunny, and to be honest, this is everything is kind of right. It's all about Easter eggs, which we call pisanka, Easter bread, it's paska, willow pussy, these branches, thank you for reminding me of what's the name, yes, all this, Ukrainian writing in here, Christos Voskres, which Christ is rise, and bunny has nothing to do with Ukrainian Easter. So this element of bunny definitely added right now to kind of create this more to, I don't know, Canadian way. I don't know who designed this, but we have nothing to do with chocolates and bunnies in Ukraine. We can talk a little bit about this. So yes, I started this last night, and also I will show you, let me get here, I worked last night on beaded stitching, and I can show you right now how much I already created. Looking good already. I absolutely love it. So much fun, so much fun. I posted a picture on my Instagram last night, I think. So yeah, thank you. Some of you saw that I made mistake on the very first row last bead, and then after that I started not in a proper way. Yes, I knew that, and I mentioned this in my video first, that I made mistake and I have to pull away a few of the beads, but that's what I have so far. So let's say when I get to this point, this is going to be my center, so it's like fourth. Well, obviously this is kind of like a smaller, and here is the most wider piece will be, but if we can split on 3 pieces, you know, if I get in here, so it's almost fourth of the, I mean third maybe of the egg. And I stitched last night few rows. I did find my needle. I do have a lots of beaded needles, so this one work okay. It feels like this needle even more thinner, I don't know. So this is what I was working last night. Also last night I finished one part of the Easter basket diamond painting that we work with you in one of my videos. So I created already one piece 100%, and I will do another piece together with you, and then we will assemble together. Now this video I want to do because one of my viewers asked me to show you on the video how I wax my threads. So this is my older threads, this is my newer thread, and I already tested out this one few times. I have to say that this wax a little bit softer, feel like the thread go better through it. It's softer. So this one white, I don't know what kind of beeswax wax, this is more like a natural, so it's a little bit softer, but I like them both. But this one wax a little bit faster, I would say. In a white one usually I do kind of twice. This one I just put through my beeswax once, and it's good. You can do twice, doesn't matter. To start with the thread, especially if you're doing 11 count Ada, you need 3 threads. That's the best way to make them wax, but I promise I will show you in the video. So before you wax, you have to split your threads. Should I get a little bit more close to make it lighter? You can see that it's separating. Before I used to separate, I grab like 2 threads and I just like pull them away like this, 2 threads. I have to say the better way, if you grab one piece like this, one grab piece like this, pinch in here and just pull it one at a time, and then go and pull another one all the way. So I'm not going to do this now because I already did, to speed up this video a little bit. So I already have, and I kind of run my fingers through it to make them all kind of even, right? Now I will take my beeswax. I grab like a good link somewhere, put through these holes that you see in here, hold in here with my finger, with my thumb, and just pull it. There, you see how it's already nice and straight thread. And then I flip now another side and do same thing from another side. That's it, it's done. You see how your thread gets nice and straight. And this wax I like better because it's softer, so it works awesome. It doesn't matter which one you will buy, because on our website obviously you cannot see what you're buying, because I didn't even know this wax will be different, but I decided to order and see if there's any difference, and it is. So different color, different texture, but they both work very well. And if you have somewhere farmer who has a beehive, and they do have beeswax like a natural from the, you know, who sell honeys, you can go to the farmer and buy brick of natural beeswax and run through that one. Okay, so now I'm just gonna leave little bit of the tail. Usually on this one I do start from another side, but now, you know what, I will flip another side a little bit just to show you what I have so far. You can see that I don't know if you can see it, but I stitched the sprinkles on a bread in here, and there's a few more things. If I flip another side there, that's all I managed to do last night a little bit, in a mix with diamond painting I was doing and bead and stitching, and finish few things today. So I started kind of with the sprinkles from the top in here, and when I have still thread left over, then I went on the bottom, and that's why I stitch in here. And I have to say that this color I already finished. I don't need this color anymore. And this green one also already done. I don't have the symbol anymore. So 2 colors I already eliminated. Now I can secure thread from front, doesn't matter, or I can do from the, because I always do kind of from the front. Some of you maybe want to see how I secure from the back. I don't know, I'm kind of like a point in here to see where I need to go. Then I flip now another side, and I'm looking where is my needle, right in here, right? So I'm just gonna pull out now from the other side, and I will go through like this. Usually I do 2. If you feel not comfortable, go 3 times, doesn't matter, it's still gonna be secure. And yeah, I love my thumb cover supporting my sore spot more. Then I pull all the way close, those like almost hiding in my first thing, and then I will go turn now to the other side. Yeah, I got it right, and I'm just going to look my thread where it goes, so I don't lose. Don't pull too hard, you just have to watch till it's get there. Now we can start. And to start, I put this hoop off my, if I can zoom out further, here's the end of my table. You can see I put like a halfway out. My table finishing right in here, but I will stitch in here, so this is already hanging on air. And then I have my diamond painting box. I put like right in here in a corner to hold my hoop, so now I can work with two hands. I don't have to hold it, and that's how I stitch. Okay, this should be good. And now we can stitch, and I will try if I could to work with two hands, maybe. We'll see. When first stitch, I kind of trying to secure and see like a pulling a little bit from the other side, just to make sure I don't pull too hard. First stitch, maybe like you just have to be careful not to pull your threads off your canvas all the way. So just hold it, and then second one you should be fine. And now I can work. When I kind of put my fingers like this, I kind of more feel where my thread go, to kind of like give more support from my canvas. I don't know. So now with my left hand I pull, and my right hand catches thread on the bottom. And because our thread now waxed, it go nice and straight lines. It doesn't have those wiggles when you just untangle your thread. So I started here on a short line. I mean, because this is shorter, starting here, the other line in here, so usually I start from longer one, go up, then I switch to this, finish this little piece, and then go to the other to continue. Just trying to get as much as possible to the short length of thread being passed around. To be honest, this thread look almost like white, or this is white. No, maybe a little bit like a off-white. No, I don't know. It looks really white. So, and the background, of course, it's a white. So I don't know how much we will see. Well, it's kind of like a grayish, not exactly white threads this is, but very close to it. But because this is represent the sprinkles, right? And me personally, let me tell you a little bit the story about our Easter. I'm sure I already told you that last year, but I have lots of new viewers who never probably heard about Ukrainian tradition. So we will start with tradition. It's the week before Easter, week before Sunday. We grab this willow, pussy willow branches, like a little, let's just say half-meter long, just to make it like a little bouquet from them. We tied them with the ribbon, doesn't matter what color ribbon, just to make it look like a batch. And then you go to church. That's the before Easter, 1 week. You bless them at the church, and then you come home like with holy water. Pope would bless them, or priest, we call Pope. And the person who would go to church visit come home, and then you have to kind of like slap each other with those branches, like on the back area, like a shoulder berry, like nice and gentle, not to hurt anybody. And when you do this, you say in the words, "It's not me beat you, it's the pussy will beat you. Next week will come Easter." Well, it sounds weird when I say that in English, but when you say in these words in Ukrainian, it's all rhyme and it makes sense. For you right now, it doesn't make a sense, but that's represent, you know, to give you to be healthy, so your back not sore, just to give you extra health, because that's a blessed branches and it's supposed to give you more health. So that's a one part before Easter, 1 week before Easter. Then another tradition, it's the Easter night before Easter. It's like night before Christmas. Everybody, well, before that, of course, we prepare some traditional foods that we usually have. Usually our meat, like if you have like a pork, you make in a roast pork, whatever, big chunk, but we eat that in cold meat. We don't eat this as a hot, so we cook big chunk, then you slice a piece of that. You make an Easter bread, which I will get back to it yet. You take in a bread, like a full thing, or if it's a big bread, you can take a half. Some homemade kielbasa, homemade radish, and I will tell you how to make homemade radish. Not radish, horseradish. Everything possible, like a food, maybe piece of butter, salt, and you create in a basket, Easter basket, with all these goodies, and you go to the church, and there's a ceremony or mass, how you call it, mass or ceremony in church all night. You pray up there. There's a special praise for Easter. It's a night before Easter, right? And you have to be in church all night long. And to tell you about Ukrainian church, of Orthodox church, or Christian, we don't have benches in our churches, not like in here, so you can sit comfortable and don't even think sometimes about what you're doing when you're praying. People hopefully not even texting in the church right now, I don't know, but we don't have a benches, so you have to stay all night. Usually that night the church is full of people because everybody trying to be on the front line, so you can hear and see everything, all the ceremony. There's lots of popes, would be not like one regular usually, but it's more people, more different. They have a special clothes for the ceremony, beautiful gold and silver embroidery, beautiful singing, lots of smell of those burning candles that sometimes people can faint over because they have to stay all night. It's really hard. And then time from time you have to drop to your knee and do pray with everybody together, special pray. So time from time people just go outside and try to take a break and have catch fresh air, but this ceremony doesn't stop all night. And then when it's already morning and all the ceremony finished, everybody go outside, and it's lots of people, could be hundreds of people, depends how big your village. You put your basket on the ground around the church, so create like a one big circle or a few lines, and that Pope will go around and bless those baskets with the holy water. And then after that you go home, and that's your first meal. Your first meal has to be holy meal that you just brought from church, and after that you can eat whatever. But before that you're supposed to have like months, or I don't know how long, that you're not supposed to eat any meat, or how you call them, time when you eat not fat food, just like I can't think of, I know that word, I just forgot. So anyway, so this is kind of like your first time you eat your meat. It's a Easter morning, and all family sit at the table, have special pray, or just say, usually it's Отче наш, well, I have to say, I don't know in English. Well, it's a pray, and then after that everybody eat little pieces of every, like it's cut in a little squares, whatever, cubes, all the blessed food. You have to grab everything a little bit, and after that you can eat whatever you want, and your celebration started. Okay. Now every time my mom would, before Easter, like a night before, or you can make it earlier, but usually she ended up doing this, to make own horseradish. Of course in here you can go and buy at the store, and the time when I was there we didn't have in a store horseradish. You have to make your own. So obviously you have to find a root of the horseradish somewhere. We used to have a grown in our yard, in the garden, or you just go to your neighbors and ask if they have some. So you grab the root. It almost looks like a carrot, but it's just a white and long. You clean it, peel, like a peel to clean the dirt and everything, wash it, and then you have to grind them. That time we didn't have any blender, so we did by hand with the regular grinder, like you can buy right now at the store. You know, when you grind like carrots or cheese, so you have to grind in the smallest ones, setting to make a mush. And I have to say, you will cry that, because the smell are so strong. You know how horseradish strong, if you would like open jar and sniff, oh my god, if it goes so strong in your nose and your eyes, right, you start to cry. So my mom would do that outside on a bench, and we would kids like just play around while parents do that. And mom wouldn't do this, like she wouldn't let me do this. She always do it by herself, because it would be too strong for a kid, right, to do, I guess. I don't know. So then when it's grind all the way, the mush, then you put the mush like in some kind of glass jar, and you put natural beet juice, which the red beet. Yes, our horseradish not supposed to be white. Sorry, my camera already stopped. I hope you're interested in this story. It's supposed to be red. Our horseradish is supposed to be red, like a color of the beet, the one that we cook Ukrainian red borscht soup. So you just put this juice over that horseradish, and then you have a beautiful colorful horseradish. And then of course, day before that, we have to bake Ukrainian Easter bread. You're not supposed to bake this bread during a year. This is only Easter bread. That's it. We bake this bread once a year, and it's delicious. And I would like tell my mom, oh, I like this bread to have, you know, few times a year, not just the once. And it's a really yummy from them, like a French toast from that bread. But my mom would say, you know, that this is religion bread. It's supposed to be baked only once a year, and that's it. That's what it was. But like on this picture, you have like this sugar and icing on the top. You know, the white part, which is in an old time. This is more like updated, more modern Easter bread. In long time, when I was a kid, or you know, nobody did this way. It was just like a regular bread top, but it was decorated, and I even baked the bread myself, decorated with some kind of like a even, you know, for example, let's see if I make in a round bread, right? We would create from the dough braid, and we would put braid on the outside to make a decoration of the bread with the braid. Then you put a cross on the middle as a crust, you know, crust, but not just like pieces of the dough. No, you can like create like a twisted dough, so it's still kind of decorated design. Then there's lots of different designs. You can Google and see the Ukrainian Easter decorating. Maybe how would you see it? It is beautiful, right? So this would be like just decorative bread on the top, and that's it. No icing. Plus, even right now, I don't like icing because it smells. It's making messy, sticky stickiness, and I just don't like. I like as it is, just as a bread. And this bread is sweet. It's not just like your regular bread you would buy at the store. First of all, some bread, there's a lots of different recipes. Lots of eggs involved in this dough, sugar, lots of some people who can put a raisin inside, or even like a oranges peels to make a little bit like a color, more colorful. Some people using walnuts to chop very tiny. So that's the all extras that you can add or you cannot. Our bread was just a simple bread. It was sweet, but with no any additional stuff, which I would say it's already modern editing of the resin and the pecans. From old tradition, let's say, even like when my mom was a kid or even older, didn't have all that stuff fancy. So that usually from old tradition that go from, you know, hundreds of years, because Ukraine is very, very old, and that was just like a simple bread, but it has to be like very yellow on the inside, which you have to put lots of eggs. And of course, in Ukraine we bake bread with the fresh yeast. In here in Canada, I was trying to find one time, I couldn't find the fresh yeast, so I was trying to find a recipe that would involve dry yeast. So I was just watching some Ukrainian channel YouTubers that girls live not in Ukraine anymore, but so they kind of like have Easter stuff with dry yeast. So that way kind of I can get the recipe. I tried two different kind of recipes. Now I don't remember which one I like more. So as I mentioned before, this year I probably not going to bake any Easter bread. I don't know. because of the situation in Ukraine. Some people don't have water or bread for 3 weeks already under Russia occupied, because they holding the people as hostages, don't even let them go to get water. And I would feel guilty if I would eat this yummy bread and other people don't even have water. So I think I will pass this time on Easter bread. And then after a couple of days, usually we bake lots of that bread, because family were big, right? My mom, we had 5 kids. Everybody liked this bread, so we would make, like, you know, 5, 6 of them, and the big one, and we would bake them in a natural fireplace that we have in our kitchen for the food cooking. And I told you, when this time I will go to Ukraine, I would take a picture, video of that to show you my house. Unfortunately, this year again, before was COVID was holding me, and now war, and I don't know when I will go home now. So yes, after, you know, if you can't finish this bread, eat while it's fresh. When it gets a little bit harder, then we make from them grilled French toast. Oh my god, from that bread, French toast, because the bread is sweet, it's yellow, it's lots of butter in it, it's very, very rich bread, and it's just so good, it's so tasty. And that would be like for the breakfast, for example, French toast with the Easter bread and cup of tea. That was the best breakfast for me as a kid. I loved it. So that's the kind of story, a little bit about our Ukrainian Easter. Now, about the Easter eggs, which we call pisonka. All my childhood life in Ukraine, we dye eggs with the onion shell, and the eggs would turn like a dark orange or like brown colors, which you would think, okay, if you have a red chickens, they lay brown eggs, but with the onion peel, it's like a very, very burgundy red, dark color eggs would be. And that's how Ukrainians used to make dye Easter eggs, but this is just like a simple way. The other part of Ukraine, a little bit much further from me, and you can see that these eggs have a designs, right? Oh, wait a minute, let me check something. Without stopping my video, I will show you something. Okay. What was that? Maybe 5 years ago, I don't remember now. This is what I created. Only 2. This was my very, very first time that I created Easter eggs pisonka. There's a region in Ukraine much further than we live. It's more like a hill and valley area, much further to kind of close to Moldova, the Dave borders. They for years and years created only eggs with designs like this by using a beeswax, melting them on a fire and then dipping in many times in a ink dye, food coloring. So this was my very first attempt, because somebody gifted me the little tool to use for the beeswax to melt, to design, and this is very long process to create just one, because every line you create in, you have to dip in a color, wait the Then you have to again put beeswax. So you kind of starting with the area that you need to be how can I explain? Anyway, if you can you can find a YouTube videos how to create them. But was my design. It's not very good. This is empty shell because you need to poke hole in here. You need to poke hole in here, blow away the inside, kind of poke with the needle yoke so everything coming out. You kind of blow on one side so the other side egg would coming out. I was trying to create as small as possible, but my holes, this one kind of got a little bit bigger. I was afraid to break eggs. You have to do like with needle or even the sharp knife to kind of pierce the hole. So I created this too. Not bad for the first time. My lines are wiggle, you can see, and I created my own design. I did not use any you know, just whatever I feel like I was doing it. So this is how I came up with. So I would say not bad for the first time. I was actually impressed of myself there. So now I have it too. So in one region of like a big part of Ukraine, that's the only Pesanka Easter egg they create. Gorgeous design, and I would highly recommend to you look some video on YouTube, because you will be amazed how beautiful designs. And then of course they making it for years and years, so their designs are just beautiful, and the way they doing the work, it's so perfect. So that's the Easter egg. Okay, see how this eggs, I don't know, can you see the stitches, how they layer nicely with the wax, because the thread is nice and straight, no wiggles. How do you like my Easter stories? So yeah, when I came to Canada in 1999, and I was like, okay, the Easter time, it's so much, you know, how this going to be in Canada. So my husband, boyfriend at the time, we just start to see each other. Well, we started today like a year later, but he invited me to his family. His mom was alive back then. I was taking care of her to the rest of her life. Invited me for Easter to their family. I was very shy because I basically did not speak English, just a few words, could, you know, just a very little I would speak. So I was very not comfortable, but they was really understandable, didn't ask me too many questions, his mom. So I was like thankful that she didn't ask me too much, because I wouldn't be understand what she's saying. So they invited me for Easter, and I was very surprised how Easter working here. You put some change and chocolates inside of the plastic eggs, the Easter bunny. That all was new to me and very weird, I would say. I was like, wow, such a religion holiday ruined by chocolates. What chocolates and bunny have to do with, I don't know, what bunny have to do with the eggs? Why not chicken? Why bunny laying eggs? That was so weird to me. I'm telling you, if you come from different country to something new, it's very weird holidays at first you would think about. So for me that was like, wow, totally new world. And then I realized you have chocolate for Valentine's Day, for Christmas. It's like every holiday involves chocolate. Like, wow, now I understand why so much obesity in this country. Everything is chocolate. That's just ridiculous. How can you save your teeth of eating so much chocolate? So yeah, no, that was something to me very weird, to have a Easter with bunny and chocolate. That was my first experience. But of course, you live here, you follow the rules, and of course for our kids we would just spread the Easter eggs with chocolates and money inside of the house, not outside, because every time we have Easter here, or it's like a very muddy on the yard that we can go, because it's Canada, it's not like, you know, nice and sunny, or sometimes even snow could lay down in the Easter time here, depends when Easter, sometimes very early. So we just do in a house. And now my kids grown up, but we still kind of put some money and chocolates around the house, but we have to do this like right in the morning, because otherwise dogs would get them. So we can't really put, you know, at night time and go sleep like we did when kids was little. Now with dogs around the house, we have to put or somewhere high reach so dogs can't get it, but not on the floor anymore. Well, okay, that was a long story, and I was like, what else can I tell you? Oh yeah, and Easter, that was like, you have to have some, like as a girl, for the Easter you have to dress up nicely, and new dress, maybe like new sandals, some new socks, put some ribbon in your hair, dress up all in new clothes, even like, you know, living the rest of the life. Not much new stuff I had, because I have to wear clothes after my older sisters. You go from one to another because we didn't live rich. So, and then when you get to the Easter, new shoes and new dresses, like, oh my god, that's a new world. You're so impressed looking yourself in the mirror. I remember my first shoe, they have like a white sandals with tiny heel. That was my like a first heel, little heel, but from here was like, wow, for the kid, I look so fancy. And I always have a long hair. My braids always was to my waist, a long hair. So I would put some ribbons to make a bow in my hair, or braid. And that's my childhood. Lots of sweet memories. You know, didn't have a gadget, cell phones, computers, but we lived much more happier, I would say. Poor but happy. Play outside with kids. Everybody have a good exercise, playing outdoors, not like right now. Computer, cell phone, TikTok, Instagram, that's it. Kind of boring life now in our kids, I would say. Yeah, generation, everything changes. Progress go up, technology go up, and we have to follow all that. But it's good to teach your kids some old-fashioned tradition. Like Ukraine has such an old tradition, because it's like, you know, I believe something 700 years old country, because Ukraine was built before Russia was the woods. They didn't even exist, and I would just say there's no such thing as Ukraine. You know, we have such a huge history. We have such a beautiful churches in Ukraine. Some of them are so old, hundreds and hundreds of years. There was really scary that Russia will bomb that. Like church and museums at the same time. Cannot wait to go back home. Cannot wait when wars stop and the Ukraine can start to rebuild. their cities. It's going to be beautiful because we are Ukrainians who has a big history of tragedy, of Holocaust, and we still rise and shine, and this time will not different. The light will win over darkness. So it's basically 2 weeks. Easter was on 17 or when? So will I finish this stitching? I don't know. I hope so. I will definitely stitch tonight, probably more. And when I don't chit chat and just stitching with the good light, like right now I don't have a light, I will stitch for many hours. I will finish. Also, my friends, I will show you, or maybe different video, my Ukrainian sampler I washed yesterday. I ironed, but was still a little bit damp, so it's kind of like on a towel still laying in my craft room drying. I'm sure it's dry overnight. Well, hi Daisy and Buddy, hi. And my husband calling, so I guess I will finish right now, my friends, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.